If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe now. Click the bell icon next to it and select All to ensure you don't miss any of my latest videos. If hell itself has a sound, that sound would be like a tech death whistle. Many scientists around the world believe that if this sound whistle is used in the perfect way, we can kill people through it and mentally terrorize others like thousands of people are coming. They say that it can be used in many ways. This sound has surprised many scientists and scholars for many years, and at the same time it has also made them curious to know why it was created. So many scientists have been researching about it for many years, and finally its mystery has been solved. In this video, I'm going to tell you about it in detail, and not only that, in this video, you will also get the hashtag death. I'm also going to play the sound of the whistles. Definitely that sound will sound very, very scary to you. There is no doubt about it. So why not? Let's get into the video. Before we learn about this death whistle, we need to know a little about the Aztecs and their culture. Only then will we have a clarity on why they invented this death whistle. So first, let's learn about their culture. When a Spanish conquistador named Cortés went to the capital city of the Aztecs, Jinju, in 1521, he saw a terrible ceremony. He mentioned it in his books. What he saw there that day was that some hashtag priests were using razor-sharp obsidian blades to cut open the chest of a sacrificial victim, and not only that, they were opening it and taking out the heart inside and offering it to the god. The heart was still beating, so it was still alive, and they were offering it to God. He was very confused when he saw this. He did not understand what was happening initially, but later he learned that many victims in that area were dying like that. After death, their bodies were taken to a large temple. That temple was called the Temple Mayor, and they were taken to it and thrown into it. At the moment, however, this Temple Mayor is in modern-day Mexico City. He understood that they were all being tortured for some reason. Then another conquistador named Andres de Topia came to that area, and that person studied that temple in some detail. Then he saw some places in that area that were made entirely of human skulls. He said that there were about 20,000 to 80,000 human skulls in that area. And there were also some wooden rocks in that area with thousands of skulls on each one. They are visible, and those skulls also have holes. That is, they make holes on the left side and right side and put a wooden pole inside it and hang many skulls on that wooden pole and hang them all. He was very surprised when he saw all this in that area. However, he mentioned all this in his books. Recently, many scientists have found all those documents. When they studied all of them, they said that all of them seem to be exaggerated. There may be some truth in this, but it may not be completely true. However, they believe that this is just propaganda and nothing more. Some say that the hashtag Emperor Maximizuma was killed, so to justify it they spread such fake news. Others say that all these rumors were created to completely sidetrack the destruction of the capital city, and they are also making all the people their slaves. They say that this news was created to divert attention from that. So, simply put, what they are saying is that this is a colonial fake news. But after that, for many years, archaeologists have been conducting research near that temple area, meaning they have done a very large-scale excavation there and have decided to find out what was in that area and are doing research. And while doing so, many groups related to human sacrifice were found in that area, which surprised all the scientists very much. And basically, the major proof that was found in it was that the skull towers, skull rocks, basically everything that was mentioned many centuries ago was true. At that time, scientists knew that and hundreds of thousands of skulls were found. So all the ancient reports were completely true. Then they understood that in fact human sacrifice is an integral part of the ancient religion, that is, they do it regularly. And of course all this is also present in different societies of the world. It is also present in the Mayan civilization, but in the ancients, it is a little more common. This belief means that only by killing people can certain things happen. They believe very strongly. Do you know what the most important belief of all is? That the sun god has to give light to the earth, which means the sun needs energy. How does the sun get energy? It comes from the blood of humans. So, they believe that the sun god must be constantly alive, that the sun travels from east to west so that we can all do our work in that light and live happily. They believe that if people are not sacrificed, the world will end. They believe that the day we stop sacrificing people, the whole world will be filled with darkness. So, because of that, they are sacrificing people in large numbers, but not one or two, not a few 100,000 people. So, based on the beliefs of scientists and some ancient records, they understood that 20,000 to 80,000 people were sacrificed in this area. The program of sacrificing people began in 1487 and continued for many years after that. Their point is that if we look at the whole of human history, sacrifices like this only happen when there is a problem. But some people sacrificed with the intention of a problem. But they went to extremes and sacrificed. Because of this, the population in that area also decreased drastically. Because if they kept sacrificing everyone, what else would there be? If the situation were not the same, what would they do? They would fight many wars without sacrificing the asterisk people. In that war they would win many times. Many people would become slaves to them. Many people would be imprisoned. In this way, prisoners would also be used for these sacrifices. Instead of killing the asthma, they would kill others. And sometimes soldiers would find some people and capture them. There is a point here that many ascetic people go and sacrifice their lives on their own. They believe that if we sacrifice our hearts to God, it is very great and very sacred. They go and sacrifice themselves. If they do that, they will get a very great life in another life. They also believe that even then they did not sacrifice. They did not leave poverty. What can we do? People's thoughts were still the same at that time. So that is why many people go and sacrifice. All this was going on. But at that time they created a terrible sound. It was a sound created by whistles in the shape of skulls. That sound was very terrible. They used to play that sound a lot when they sacrificed them. So, what do they mean by their screams? Now, they cut the whole chest open and cut out the heart. How much pain do they feel when they are taken out? At that time they are screaming very loudly. So, by playing this sound at that time, their screaming will be reduced to some extent. So, they used to play it there. Now, I will play that sound for you once. Listen, it is even better if you put on headphones and listen to it. It is very clear and clear. And in fact, they are not sounds coming from instruments. They are sounds coming from resonators. So, I will tell you what the sound coming from them is like. Applause. For those who have seen Lord of the Rings, this sound will seem a bit similar because almost the same kind of sound is coming like BGM near the ring gates in Lord of the Rings. Maybe they were inspired by this hashtag sound and put it there. It is something different, but it sounds very, very scary. So basically, you can offer many types of sacrifices to God. But apart from that, sacrificing people, killing and sacrificing them so brutally, is a very, very rare and terrible thing. And at that time, the people who play this sound so that their screams and cries are not heard outside, basically how does that sound? It seems to us that the people themselves are screaming in very, very terrible pain. So they are using that sound to control the sound of the people who are really screaming. And some researchers have said that basically, they are saying that this acoustic death whistle is the screams of a few thousand corpses. But basically, corpses are silent, but they also make a kind of weird noise that is very, very small. Humans cannot hear it. But if we can capture that sound from a few thousand corpses, it will be so loud. Basically, as terrifying as this sound is, those whistles are also terrifying. Archaeologists are more interested in this. What surprised me the most was the whistles because they were all in the shape of skulls. That's why scientists were a little more interested and did research on them and found out how that sound came from them. If you want to know that, first they have to put them in their mouths and blow them. If they blow like that, it means they are very great. That means we can understand very clearly how dedicated they are to their work. So basically, what many people believed at that time was that there was another reason for playing this hashtag death vision at that time, which was that if they were killed while playing this vision, their souls would reach heaven and after that they would get another life, a very good life. So that's why they also played that whistle sound, and all these skulls were also made with original skulls and all of them were used in war to attack those who were their enemies. They could be dead or alive, but if they were alive they would kill them and take their bodies, and if they were dead they would take their bodies and use them to make these whistles. Basically, these whistles were also used in psychological warfare. If you play these whistles on a very large scale, basically, a whistle sound will be very scary for us. If you put 100 such whistles side by side and play the sound from them at once, it will sound like an army of 30,000 to 40,000 people screaming at you at once. That would be even more terrifying. They used it that way in those days. These death vessels were found in many parts of ancient Mesoamerica, and they were not only used for blowing but also for other purposes. Sometimes, some bodies of the Aztec people are found and we see those skulls in them. They are seen placed in their hands or near their heads. They are also buried with them. Why they did that is still unknown to them. And what is special about these skulls is that the whistle sound created by these skulls cannot be recreated by anyone using computerized mathematical models. The dynamics of this sound are very different. They are only between 1 kHz and 6 kHz. So, recreating these is not so easy through computers. Only humans can recreate these. And sometimes, when real human skulls are not found, they use Aztec clay, turkey feathers, sugar cane frog skins. They also made all these kinds of whistles using some natural materials, and each one had a different purpose. Each one was used in a different kind of ceremony. For example, shell-shaped whistles were used in good ceremonies like weddings, while hunters used animal-shaped whistles to divert deer. They used various techniques and objects in various shapes. Even some medieval doctors used these to treat hashtags. If you can tune that sound in the perfect way, the sound frequencies coming from it can give us many kinds of health benefits and reduce many kinds of diseases. Many people started believing that at that time, so they continued it like that. But what if we have heard death visions? That may not give us health, but if we can definitely tune the sound frequencies in a perfect way and listen to them in a low frequency, low sound, scientists have also said that there are many health benefits for humans. Even you can try it. Listen to any favorite BGM. It should go very slowly. So try listening to that kind of BGM in your headsets continuously for 20 minutes like a half-hour song. You will get a very, very relaxed kind of feeling. So, they used that kind of technique in those days, and for that too, this Aztec death vision was used. Leaving aside the theory of many scientists, how true it is definitely a thing of the past. In the past, this kind of rituals were at a very peak level, but now it has decreased a little, but sacrificing thousands of people for the sake of something is really a very, very terrible thing. So what do you think? After listening to the whole thing, tell us your opinion about this Aztec death whistle in the comments section below.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.